Anyways, I started taking Cialis 5 milligrams a day. Apparently that's a thing. And in addition to better erection function, I've been noticing I am way more clear throughout the day and feeling like I'm on a nootropic 24/7. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on nootropics, on testosterone, on biohacking, on male performance. Subscribe to the channel if you're into any of that stuff. Please hit the bell to get notified of all future content, and I'd really appreciate it if you would like the video. Yeah, just hit the like button, bro. Just hit that like button, man. Go ahead, click it. You don't have to, but you should. If you want to support us, go get the Torque Stack. I mean, this thing flies off the shelves because people really like what is a consistent stimulant nootropic stack. You can buy it at livecortex.com or down in the description of this video. We got a whole bunch of other useful goodies at livecortex.com, which I'll explain later. Okay, so I want to read a user email that was sent in to me about Cialis and the use of Cialis and good brain function. This is actually a really interesting topic because Cialis does have some modulatory effects on cerebral perfusion, brain blood flow, and could give brain performance benefits that are somewhat comparable to nootropics. And in this guy's case, that's exactly what we're getting. So let's just read the email. It goes, "Hey, Ryan, love the content, bro. Keep it up. I love getting the notes that you've uploaded." Thanks, Brosif.
Brosif, Brohan, Brosicle.
Anyways, I started taking Cialis 5 milligrams a day. Apparently that's a thing. And in addition to better erection function, I've been noticing I am way more clear throughout the day and feeling like I'm on a nootropic 24/7. I've been able to dose nootropics a little less, and odd times in the evening where I'm usually spent, I have extra energy. Can you explain what's going on here? Am I just placeboing out? Thanks, BC. I know this guy is a guy named Brandon something. Brandon, you're onto something, and I would love to explain it. Thanks for the email. So the bottom line is there are probably multiple things happening that would make Cialis make your brain function better. And by the way, he goes, so this is a thing. Yes, 5 milligrams a day of Cialis is a thing, right? It's typically prescribed for erection function, right? Just improve erection quality. Whereas like sildenafil, which is Viagra, is like a kind of as needed basis and usually higher doses than that. Low dose consistent Cialis does seem to be effective for some guys for like better erection quality, especially guys on TRT. That don't have their protocols straight, by the way, because you wouldn't need Cialis if your protocol was straight. So let's get straight to a paper so that we can look at pharmacologically what exactly is happening and what the research says about it. This paper is titled "The Effect of Low Dose Daily TADALAFIL on Cerebral Perfusion and Cognition in Patients with Erectile Dysfunction and Mild Cognitive Impairment." Cerebral perfusion just is a fancy way of saying enhanced blood flow to the brain. Where they go, in the conclusion section, they go, "The results of this prospective clinical study suggest that the use of TADALAFIL, which is Cialis, 5 milligrams a day, increases some regional cerebral blood flow and improves cognitive function in patients with ED and mild cognitive impairment." Now, it goes on to sort of discuss exactly what the mechanisms of action here are. And really, you've got enhanced cerebral blood flow, right, in certain regions of your brain. So more blood flow is going to equal more oxygen, going to equal better functioning of neurons, going to equal better cognition. But there's actually other mechanisms besides just the enhanced blood flow that Cialis is facilitating better cognition from. So let's get into that. There's a paragraph that goes, "Except for blood flow," it's right here. So you can read along if you'd like. "Several other mechanisms that could explain the cognitive enhancing effects of PDE5 inhibitors have been suggested to date. Some reports describe an emotional arousal effect of PDE5 inhibitors and suggest that cognitive function could be improved as a consequence of emotional arousal. Enhanced second messenger signaling also results in the facilitation of long-term potentiation processes. Hippocampal LTP, or long-term potentiation, is considered to represent a pivotal synaptic model for learning and memory consolidation. As such, there have been increasing interest in the development of PDE5 inhibitors for cognitive enhancement." So the potential for some LTP and some LTP facilitation in the hippocampus, right? When the hippocampus is working better, this is why some of the cholinergic racetam drugs are very powerful. Memory's better, cognition is better, multitasking ability is better, right? Storage is better, brain storage, reference memory is better. So that's probably what's happening here. But they do go on to say there are several mechanisms of action that could explain the cognition enhancing effects of PDE5 inhibitors. Among these mechanisms is increases in blood flow and glucose metabolism. That's pretty important, right? When you have better blood flow, you usually have better glucose uptake and metabolism. Localized CBF, or cerebral blood flow, was increased after 7 days of oral administration of sildenafil at a dose of 2 milligrams per kilogram upon measuring relative cerebral blood flow. They go on to say that with sildenafil, which again is Viagra, same mechanism of action, or at least ultimately same downstream thing, PDE5 inhibition. They go administration of sildenafil in rats with embolic stroke enhanced angiogenesis, that's the creation of new blood vessels, and selectively increase the cerebral blood flow in the ischemic lesion. Okay, tadalafil treatment also increased cerebral vascular density and endothelial cells around the ischemic boundary in a rat model of embolic stroke. So when you have a stroke and you have this brain injury where there's obviously a blood flow problem, a blood clot that took place in the brain, tadalafil and also sildenafil went and actually increased the cerebral vascularity and the density of endothelial cells. So it's optimizing via the optimization of blood flow, blood vessel function, and vascularity. In this case, in regions that are downed from a stroke, but presumably otherwise in healthy people, you're going to get better blood flow to areas, better oxygen to certain areas of your brain, and that's going to lead to better cognition. Here is a Reddit thread that's titled, "Cialis is amazing for mental clarity and anxiety." And the guy goes, "Whenever I take Cialis, PDE5 inhibitors, I find myself more grounded and focused and less anxious. Does anyone have a scientific explanation for this?" And then a guy who I think is on point goes, "Vasodilation, cerebral tissue, ginkgo works the same, via the same mechanism, albeit to a much lesser extent." Yeah, different mechanism for sure, but yes, a much lesser extent. Now, here's a great example of all the bullshit you can find on Reddit. Here's a guy that goes, "An unscientific explanation would be the feedback loop feeling from your penis to feeling grounded because your center of mental gravity is back. I'd classify it as a grounding technique by means of medication with physical, not mental effects, rather than some routine." Okay, bro. You got it, bro. Now, here's another really interesting thread relative to brain fog, which is kind of maybe leading to the fact that the brain fog this guy was experiencing is related to blood flow or lack of blood flow issues. The title is, "Daily Low-Dose Tadalafil is Changing My Life for the Better. Brain Fog, Spasticity, Cognition, and Being Present in My Body. Opposite of Derealization." He goes, "I searched for recent posts on Tadalafil on the sub, but haven't found any in the last year. Posting my experience of the benefits of benefits of all. I was recently prescribed daily low-dose Cialis for BPH. That's a benign prostate hyperplasia, where the prostate tissue essentially grows for one reason or another, usually androgen and estrogen mediated. I didn't expect to see so many other benefits from it. It's the single most effective nootropic beneficial supplement I've tried." He goes, "My experience may not be typical due to a number of issues. I have brain fog, depression, muscle spasticity, depression, muscle pains, but the increased blood flow from the drug has had major improvement on all of these. The first day I took it was the best I've felt in the last 5 years. Brain fog gone, feeling of being present and alert, lifted depression, anhedonia obliterated." He goes, "It even had a good impact on muscle pain and spasticity and feeling rested and waking up." Okay, yeah. Another guy goes, "This stuff is almost too good to be true. I took it during a period of high stress when I couldn't get my dick up anymore and instantly noticed that not only were my erectile problems gone, but I was on high alert, needed less sleep, feeling stronger in the gym, no noticeable downsides besides a little lightheaded feeling for the first hour or so after taking the pill." Okay, so those are some of the anecdotals on Cialis, right? So it's not just this guy experiencing it, it's many people who experience it. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Cialis. I have fussed with it, but it tends to, even at low doses, kind of give me like low blood pressure type of feelings. I'm sure I could probably work my way out of that, but my BP is like low normal as it is. It's always been, probably because my time in the military, I was a runner and then I was a runner thereafter. I probably ran for a total of 15 years or something every day, lots of running. And so that has to have adaptations on blood flow, cerebral function, microvascularity, all these kinds of things. So my blood pressure always runs normal, but on the lower end, right? So I couldn't really tolerate a whole lot of Cialis. But again, like I don't need it for cognition, right? Some of these people, if you're one of those people, you may be one of those people who has a blood flow problem, or you could benefit from enhanced blood flow in the brain, cerebral perfusion, in which case something like, any of the PDE5 inhibitors at the right dose would be useful for you. And again, it is a thing that guys take for erection function, tadalafil 5 milligrams a day. There's a lot of people in the TRT community that do that, get better pumps in the gym, obviously better erections, generally feel better and cognitively function well because of it. So back to Brandon's email. Yeah, dude, I mean, this is more than likely the cerebral blood flow, but maybe it's the hippocampal LTP that's happening. And so you're having better memory, like better synaptic functionality, better neuron communication. That could totally be it. But I think it's a combination of everything, right? You got the LTP that's probably happening, but it's like, again, what happens when you have increased blood flow and oxygen and glucose uptake in certain regions of your brain? That's better than your baseline, right? This is why meditation makes people generally function better. This is why anything that's going to improve blood flow, like on the nootropic side, like paracetam, which will do this, and chemicals like pycnogenol and vinpocetine, this is why people generally feel better and function better when they're taking them. Yeah, look, as I said before, if you guys want to support us and buy what is probably the most purchased nootropic stack on the internet, go buy a bottle of Torque. I mean, this stuff is exceptionally powerful. If you want motivation, focus, clean stimulation, productive drive, mental processing speed, look, on the left there, it says engineered for all day energy. It's no BS, man. I made this stack. This is my invention, right? I created this nootropic stack, 16-year nootropic vet, to be a powerful nootropic influence for a good degree of your day. I mean, you got people that are taking Adderall, that taper off of Adderall, that are taking Torque, and they like it a lot better, less side effects. There are people that are relying on 5-hour energy that end up switching to something like Torque and function way better and don't have jitters. I mean, it's like consistent, good, stable brain function, and you can literally buy it right now in the description of this video or at livecortex.com. Go get a bottle of my brain child. The stuff is awesome. And while Torque is very popular, probably the second most popular product is our consultations. I mean, people are reaching out to me every day. I'm spending a good degree of my afternoon working on these because, look, I have expertise in nootropic regimen formulation, all things TRT. If you're on a TRT protocol and can't get it straight, let's book a call. We'll get it figured out relatively quickly. Energy optimization, blood work interpretation, sexual dysfunction, dopamine and brain chemistry restoration, host of other things. You can check out my specialties at livecortex.com and book me in under a minute. All right, buddies, pals, friends, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Again, quick update for Cortex in production. So the new V2, version 2 of Cortex is in production. It's going to be out July, August at the very latest. Stack is going to be sick. It's a focus and flow stack. Heightened stimulation, turns on very, very quickly. Like it's almost instantly activating. If you liked anything that I said, or if you're interested in any of the stuff that we typically talk about, please just hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it, bro. Go ahead, hit it. I'll wait right here, bro. Yeah, bro, I'll just sit right here, bro, while you do it. While you hit the like button. Pleasure hanging out with you. Talk to you on the next one.